So the most bizarre of bizarre coincidences happened to me yesterday. Yesterday, by the way, was the morning after Trump won the elections. It was basically the first day that people knew that Trump was going to be the next president. I'll summarize the craziness of what happened. I bumped into a black male Trump supporter named Chris. I'm not fucking kidding you. Before I develop the story, let me just summarize the main things he said. By the time I was done having a conversation with this black Trump supporter named Chris, here are some of the main things he told me. Number one, he told me that he said he thinks black people are more racist than white people and any other group. He also said that black Trump supporters are afraid to tell anybody, including other black people, that they voted for Trump. So there's some of the main points that we covered, and this is a black dude who's telling me this, so it's particularly hilarious. And his name is Chris, which is a fucking weird coincidence. So anyways, I came to this park yesterday, and I saw this weird-looking Hummer that was parked over there. And the Hummer has like skulls attached to it and a bunch of weird stickers, and I recognized it because I had actually seen this same Hummer driving around the neighborhood on Halloween night with a Trump yard sign attached to the back. And it was almost like he was driving around promoting Trump to all the trick-or-treaters who were out in the public or on the streets. So I recognized that Hummer here at the park. I'm like, wait a minute, is that the guy with the Trump sign? So I went up to the Hummer, and there were two young black girls playing at the little playground right there. And the Hummer was parked right next to the playground, and the door was open. And there was a black guy sitting in the Hummer. So I'm like, hey man, can I ask you a question real quick? And he's like, yeah, what's up? I'm like, I think I saw your truck on Halloween night with a Trump yard sign attached to the back. Was that you? And he's like, yeah, that was me. I'm like, whoa, was that like a pro-Trump or anti-Trump thing? He's like, yeah, a little bit of both. A lesser of two evils, he told me. So he told me that he was pro-Trump because Trump, he believed, was the lesser two evils. So we started getting into a conversation, and we got into the conversation of whether or not Trump's a racist. I'm like, yeah, but you're a black guy. What, you don't think Trump's a racist? And he's like, nah, bro, Trump's not racist, man. That's bullshit. He's like, first of all, everyone's racist. He just always like, everybody's racist. Which I don't believe that. I mean, I wasn't raised to be racist. I believe the politically correct mantra that you shouldn't be racist, that we're all equal, we should look past race. But he said everyone's racist, but he's like, you know what, man? Black people are more racist than white people, man. It's like, yeah, they're the most racist people. So he's telling me that blacks are the most racist people, which is funny. I don't know if that's true or not, but it would explain a few bizarre anomalies. It would explain black entertainment television. It would explain the Black Lives Matter movement. And it would explain this rabid, just seething at the mouth, black racism. Just tribalistic racism coming from blacks these days. It would explain all that if, according to him, this black Trump supporter named Chris, blacks are the most racist group. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what he said.
I thought that was disgusting. The microphone, they just took the whole place over. That will never happen with me. I don't know if I'll do the fighting myself or if other people will, but that was a disgrace.
So, but it's funny because another interesting thing that he talked about was that black people cannot tell each other that they voted for Donald Trump. And he's like, look, I can't tell my mom I voted for Trump, and she can't tell me she voted for Trump. So it's funny. That's, again, that crabs in the bucket thing that I've talked about before, this tribalism in the black community where, in a sense, you could say that slavery still exists because blacks own each other. Slavery still exists because blacks own each other. And if you ever have a differing view, if you try to leave the tribal cult, they will yank you back in and attack you. So it's almost like blacks are still enslaved to each other. So it was actually really interesting. It's just a bizarre, special little coincidence to happen on the day that Trump was elected. You bumped into a black Trump supporter with the same first name as you. That's an interesting little coincidence there. Special little synchronicity. The universe likes to sprinkle those in occasionally, so you don't fall for the mainstream scientific view that life is a meaningless void of random coincidences with no special purpose. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I don't fucking know. But that was an interesting coincidence. You know, one of the things we mentioned, he when he said everybody's racist, I'm like, well, you know, it's interesting because, and by the way, I wanted to interview this guy. Like, I asked him, hey, can I interview you? My subscribers aren't gonna fucking believe. They're not gonna believe me. He's like, nah, man, I don't want to put my face on the internet. And I'm like, what if I just like interview you, but I don't show your face? He's like, nah, bro, nah. So, okay, I couldn't interview the guy, but so, yeah, really interesting. And one of the things, when he said everybody's racist, well, I told him this. I'm like, well, you know what? I mean, I guess in a sense you could kind of say that is true because, you know, think of it like this. When you have children, you naturally have a greater loyalty to your children than to some stranger's children, to somebody else's kids. It's just that when you have kids, they're your kids, so you naturally have an allegiance to your kids. You put your money into them, you raise them, they adopt your values. In a way, that's essentially being a racist because you're putting your allegiance, your love, and your care onto your direct genetic offspring, your children. And that's how society tends to form around families. So if you have a family and you put your kids as a priority above everybody else, you're being a racist. That might not be your intention, but that's the outcome. That's the effect of your actions, either way. Because you're putting your allegiance towards your genetic offspring, your most direct genetic offspring. Your loyalty is to your race. It's to your genetics. You're racist without even trying to be racist. So that's an interesting point. That I told him, he's like, you're absolutely right. So it was a really good conversation. Really random, really cool. And again, a black Trump supporter. And I'm telling you, man, I bet a ton of blacks voted for Trump, and they just didn't fucking want to admit it because they knew that they would be attacked. If not attacked by other blacks, they would be attacked by white liberal scumbags who hate black people and like to attack them for having a different opinion, because white liberals are racist scumbags. They're bigots, they're intolerant, and they're racist, and we need to fight back against these people. When a liberal attacks you violently, punches you in the face, you have to defend yourself against these intolerant, racist bigots. So anyways, thank you for watching. Another beautiful day in Miami. I guess Donald Trump brought the sun with him. I don't know what, but 2 beautiful days in a row. It's not even hot. It's kind of cool outside. So it's a beautiful day in Trump's America. Fight back against YouTube censorship by supporting me on Patreon. You'll also get access to exclusive, never-before-seen videos and other perks like monthly Google Hangouts with me, free books and t-shirts, and more.